The Batman. What did I think about The Batman? This is something I was really excited about. I'm kind of a Batman nerd, not gonna lie. I've been waiting for a Batman that is a detective for the longest time. So when I saw The Batman, the first trailer, the first snippet, I was excited. I was like, all right, let's go. Finally about to get the Batman that I've been wanting. The smart, the intelligent Batman that solves problems. And I'm a big Robert Pattinson fan. I think he's an amazing actor. I think he's been doing great work. And Matt Reeves is an amazing director. So was in on it day one. Made sure to watch it as soon as I could. And I'll just give you the good and the bad of what I thought. Number one, I really love the vibe. I thought this was by far the best Gotham that's been on film. Like by far, by miles. And just the fear that Batman induced, like the first time he was on the screen with like, that's not a signal to warning, that whole spiel, I thought it was amazing. Like I watched it, I was like, this is crazy. And it just got you into the movie, got you so hype. Love that first scene with the Riddler just stalking out the mayor and just like how he killed him. It was really creepy. It almost looked a little sexual. It was kind of weird. Like when he pulled out the tape, I was like, what is he about to do? What was that? And everybody like in the movie theater's like, what is he doing? But then you're like, okay, it's chill. It was really weird. It was really weird, but it really got me into the movie. But yeah, the vibe was by far the best thing about the movie, in my opinion. It was dark. It was gritty. Gotham looked like the terrible crap hole that we all know it is. It's just horrible. And Batman just seemed real. He seemed like just a crazy dude with the suit on. You see him walking into the crime scene, and all the police officers are looking like, why is this guy here? Loved it. The car chase. That car chase was crazy. It was crazy. I'll get back to it. I'll get back to talking about the car chase in the other side of this. But the car chase was awesome. I love Zoe Kravitz in this movie. I thought she was an amazing Catwoman. I think she's probably the second best Catwoman we've seen. And she really sold her part of the movie. John Turturro was a great Carmine Falcone. That guy has range. You talk about some range. Like if you see him in Severance right now, and then you see him in like the Batman, it's just crazy how that's the same person. And he can do that. He can do the crazy kooky guy in Transformers. Really great actor. Colin Farrell was amazing. The dude, you could not tell that was Colin Farrell. Like how this guy just transformed into the Penguin. How he delivered his lines. He got the best laughs in the movie by far. What else did I like? There was just, when I first watched the movie, I watched this movie 3 times because I'm kind of insane. I watch it like different friend groups myself, and that's just kind of how I watch movies. You guys probably see like I'm kind of crazy when it comes to like just watching movies, watching stuff. I watch everything. But when I first watched this movie, I watched up until I guess when Falcone got shot, and I was like, so far this is a really good movie. I was like, it wasn't like amazing, but I was like, this is solid. This is solid, but I was like, okay, it needs something big. It needs something to be like a Batman movie, because at that point it was really just your standard thriller. You know, it was a standard thriller, but with Batman. So I was kind of thinking like, is this movie amazing compared to like your other thrillers? I was like, yeah, I don't know, but yeah, I got past when Falcone got shot, and I was like, okay, good movie, but we need a little oomph to this to make it really Batman, to make it set it apart. And by the end of the movie, I regretted saying that, because from that point on, I think the movie just kind of fell apart. I did not like the third act, like at all. Like I did not like the third act of this movie, even slightly. The part of the movie where it started to kind of lose me a bit, where there's a scene where the DA has a bomb strapped to his neck and goes into I guess the late mayor's funeral, and Batman is there, and he has to help him, I guess, figure out these riddles before the bomb blows up, and it's right on his neck, some C4. And there's a scene, you guys know it, like this is a spoiler review, so you guys have all watched the movie, but Batman is like a foot away from this dude, and like the clock is ticking. It's like 5 seconds left. At this point, I'm sitting in the movie, like, Batman, move! Like, what are you doing? Move! And Batman's just like, no, tell me. I'm like, dude, get out of the way. This thing's about to blow up. And like, you really think he's gonna move because like, why would he not move? Like, the C4 is right in front of his face. And Batman doesn't move. Like, the C4 blows up in his face, has close to him, has like, I am to like this camera. Like, literally, it's like, boom. And then he just wakes up at the precinct. And I'm like, no, time out. This dude should look like Two-Face. Is the lower part of his jaw should just be blown to smithereens. He should be over. And he's just straight. I had a big issue with that. I was like, okay. And it's like, I'm supposed to have some, you know, you give it some movie magic, you know, like give it some credit, like, okay, like he is Batman, but with that one, that was just a little stupid. It's like, don't put that in there. Like, don't make him that close. I don't like that. That really kind of took me out for a second because I was like, okay, I guess I'll buy that. But you have like a 5-minute stretch in this movie where it's just way too much that you have to buy. Because after the bomb blows up, they transport him to the precinct. At this point, we know that only Gordon is on his side. Every other police officer does not rock with Batman. Instead of him being in the hospital, he's in the precinct, so that means they moved him from this church to the precinct. And no one unmasked him. Nobody unmasked him. Like, he wakes up and people are like, we should just unmask him. And I'm like, y'all should have unmasked him when he transported him. Like, how did no one take his mask off? I don't understand. You have like 100 police officers there and no one unmasked him. That didn't make sense to me. And then, like, when he's escaping from the precinct, everybody, like, he's just pushing police out the way. And I'm like, okay, this is cool. I kind of like to see because it kind of looks goofy because, like, look at Batman running through a police station. But then these officers start shooting inside of the precinct, like, up until, like, the stairwell. Like, can you imagine just being a police officer, just eating a sandwich, like, leaning over, and getting shot in the face because Batman? Like, come on. Like, what is this? Like, they're shooting probably no less than like 100 bullets into Batman while he's like escaping. And I was like, all right, come on. And then I love this scene for a second when Batman runs out and he's about to jump and he looks scared, because I was like, this is a good element to Batman we've never seen, like a scared Batman, like an element where it's like, oh wow, he is kind of human. So he jumps down, he looks afraid, and then he like turns into a glider, and it looked pretty cool. Okay, so my camera died, but I'm back. So I think I was where he was jumping off the precinct. This man jumps off the precinct. Instead of going over the bridge, like, you know, it was cool. It was a cool scene. But instead of going over the bridge, Deuce decides to go under the bridge with his parachute and completely eats it. Like, this dude is dead. Like, I'm sorry, I don't know what kind of magic. Like, I know he's Batman. Like, I know it's like the joke. He's Batman. He can do it. But he eats it, like smacks the concrete, smacks the car, and this dude just walks it off. And then the next scene, it's like nothing happens. It's just done. Like, he's just cool. I was like, okay. Within this last 5 minutes, this is a lot for me to digest. From the bomb blowing up in his face to none of the police officers unmasking him when he's completely knocked out. When they don't like him, when you know they're not rocking with him. To him then running through the precinct, the police officer shooting, like, I mean, police officers are pretty, let me not get in trouble, but just shooting inside the precinct, almost killing the compatriots and everybody, dudes eating sandwiches, getting shot for no reason, and then him just getting destroyed after jumping off of a skyscraper, just eating it. I was like, this is a lot for me to digest within 5 minutes of like movie time. That's quite a leap that I have to take as a movie watcher. But even still, even after that, like, it was still exciting, so I was cool with it. And I said I was gonna get back to the car chase. The car chase was dope, and I loved it. Like, it was exciting. The score was really powerful at that time, and it was just shot like, it was so fun to watch. And that's how I love Colin Farrell in this movie. Like, he really sold it as a Penguin. It was really interesting. But my goodness, how many people did he kill? Like, Batman, like, they should be looking for him for vehicular homicide. he killed like 15, at least like 15 to 20 people are just dead. Like, and no one cares. It was just a fireball in the background. I'm like, that's a body. Those are people. And Batman did not care. And they didn't even get any information from the dude. He's like, you are El Ratalada. And he's like, what are you talking about? You don't even know Spanish, you idiot. I was like, dang, you really just bodied 15 people just to be wrong. Like, come on, Batman. But, yeah, like, those are a few of the scenes that, like, I liked, but it just didn't make full sense to me. And it could take you out of a movie, and for a second, it really did. But I'm trying to think, like, I guess back to where the movie really lost me, though, that third act, like, the movie was solid up until when they killed Falcone. After that, it was just, I don't even want to say unnecessary, because I really did think it needed some other push. It needed some oomph to it. But where they decided to go with it was just not it, like, at all. Like, in my eyes, like, the Riddler won. This is the first time I've seen Batman take just the biggest L I've ever seen a superhero take in a long time in a movie, even in, like, a cartoon. This was just a flat-out L. And my biggest issue with the movie is just, like, you can't, like, package an L as a W to me. Like, the Riddler, like, I've been saying this, the Riddler turned Gotham into a FEMA camp, and then the Riddler's in jail, like, crying. Like, bro, you won. You saved, like, 100 people to, like, literally thousands of people who are drowned or misplaced. Like, the whole city was underwater. Like, that last scene, or everything inside the Gotham garden or whatever, Gotham Square Garden, was terrible to me. Like, it was, like, truly terrible to me. And I feel bad for saying, because I really was into this movie, but, like, from Batman's entrance, like, they're already in water, like, getting shot at, horrified. And Batman decides to blow up the whole top of the stadium. There's literally shards of glass raining down on these poor people. And I'm like, what are you doing? And then he starts getting to the fight scenes, and it's just, he just looked goofy. Like, where he's over there, he's holding on to it, and he's, like, shimmying, and he's just eating shotgun blasts and, like, gun blasts. And I'm like, yo, what is this man doing? He looks nuts. This guy looks insane. And, like, just when you don't think he can get any worse, like, you know, like, the time he's, like, holding on to, like, the cord, and it's, like, I guess it's his heroic moment where he goes and cuts the cord so no one else gets electrocuted. That was just, seemed a little unnecessary to me. I thought it was kind of stupid. He could probably just, like, throw in the Batarang to cut it or something, but I guess he wanted to be a hero. But, like, they didn't even have, like, the suspenseful moment where he hit the water. Within, like, 2 seconds of him hitting the water, he was just straight. And then you see, like, I think a little bit before that, where it looks bad. It's already terrible. Then, like, more water pours in, and you're like, well, if they're not dead, they're all gonna be dead now. And he just, like, shepherds them out like Moses, and he's just basically a first responder at that point. I'm like, I don't get it. How is this Batman? Like, I understand, like, he saved some people, but, like, when the Riddler was telling him about what was going to happen, the plan, and we figure out, like, the explosions are going to happen, the scene where the explosions are actually happening, I thought it was, like, one of those sequences where they're showing you what could go wrong, not what's actually happening. I thought, like, it's like, oh, man, this could happen. But then when you figure out, like, oh, this is actually happening, I was like, well, end credits, the movie's done. Like, they're all dead. Like, that's like a tsunami. That thing, the water came in faster than a tsunami. I was like, this is over. I was like, Batman, what are you gonna do? How can you pull out a W here? And he just did it. I guess he saved the second mayor from dying, and honestly, she probably should have died. The dude had a full-on shot straight at her, and I guess he just missed her, but if that didn't get her, she was walking through freaking floodwater. Let me not get too technical. I do that sometimes, but Yeah, that whole thing was bad. And then to top it off, like the Joker reveal where the Riddler's in jail crying for some reason, even though that's a flawless victory in my eyes. When he's crying, the Joker is basically like patting him on the back like, you'll get them next time. I really don't know what next time could be. If that was a L to them, like, do they want to just nuke everything? I don't understand. Like that, the Joker should have been like, dude, bravo, I haven't even got a win like that before. But the Joker reveal was horrible. Just flat out. Let me just say, like, that was CW-esque. We didn't need it. It was a really bad Joker laugh, and it really seemed like it was pulled out of like the Arrowverse. And I feel like now I've just been ragging on the movie for a while, even though I really did like a lot of elements of this movie. Honestly, I thought that like it was a 3-hour movie, but the vibe that they conveyed was great. It was just there were so many little parts of this movie that I think just wasn't thought out well or just wasn't executed well. Like, honestly, a lot of the characters fell flat to me. Like, I really do like Robert Pattinson as an actor, but his Bruce Wayne just wasn't it. His Batman was kind of one note as well. And like initially I was giving them a pass for that because I was like, this sets up the next movies well. But I was talking to my sister, she was like, a 3-hour setup though? I was like, yeah, that is true. This movie was 3 hours to set up whatever is happening next, and I don't know, like that is quite a bit. That's a stretch. A 3-hour setup is a long time, and he was so depressed in this movie. He looked so sad, and he just acted like a child at times. Like when he was interacting with Alfred, it was just he just came off as so spoiled and so entitled. Like it reminded me of one of those like coming of age movies where the person has like a stepdad and he's like, "You're not my father." It's like, dude, you're 35. Like, grow up. Alfred is in the hospital and he just wakes up. He's all smiling, happy to see his only family, and the first thing he says is, "You lied to me." And that whole, I'm just like, dude, what is wrong with you? That whole scene, it just seemed like he had no real emotion. He seemed so stunted. But I know that's a concerted effort by Matt Reeves. They even added an element of mental health in Bruce's family with his mom going in and out of Arkham. So like this Batman in this world really is mentally scarred, but I don't necessarily know if I like that for Batman, because like, yes, I know the jokes are like, this guy's crazy, and he is crazy, but like to really just see a psychopath walking around, like when he was talking to the Riddler in Arkham, he's like, "You're a psychopath." The only thing that was going through my head is like, bro, what are you? You run around as a bat. Like, come on, man. Like you're kind of a psycho too. Like let's be real here. This movie lacks some emotional connection, in my opinion, especially when they try to add it. Like Selina's whole purpose in this movie at the start was to help her friend. I forget what her friend's name is. The Russian girl who I don't know. Like that's the point though. Like I have no idea. No one really cares about her. That was a part of the movie that they like were trying to get us to feel. She was like, "Who's gonna fight for whatever her name is? No one will like fight for her." But she herself really didn't care. We see that when Batman, first of all, when Batman should have been focusing on the target, he saw Selina and was like, "Let me see what she's up to." Literally completely forgot what he was there to do and decided, let me follow her instead of the girl that I actually have questions for. So when they leave, everybody's watched it by now who's watching this, hopefully. But when they leave, they come back and the place is ransacked and the girl is gone. Clearly it was a physical struggle. It wasn't like an easy capture or easy kidnap. The place is completely destroyed and she's gone. And Selina, who lost the girl she's been calling baby, like whatever relationship they had, I don't necessarily know, but yeah, instead of her being like, "Oh, we need to go and find her now, like let's go," like anybody would if like you went home and one of your homies, one of your family members was just taken violently, would be she is just kind of like, oh, they took her, proceeds to pour herself a glass of milk and just sit there until I don't even know how many days. Like, I know she was kind of looking with Batman, but I feel like there was no urgency to her when it came to actually trying to find, I don't know her name, the Russian girls, like, immediately. Like, this is a life or death situation, clearly, and it didn't resonate. It didn't seem like she cared too much. And later on, when they find her body, it really doesn't seem like she cares. Like, she still has the wherewithal to get that money, which I guess is like a kind of is Catwoman's personality. She is really money above all. So I guess if that's what they were trying to do, cool. But I didn't get that from the movie. I didn't get that vibe from her. If that was the case, I could be completely mistaken. Like, it could have been a really smart, like, tip of the cap to Selena Kyle's personality about putting money over everybody and just stealing. But I honestly don't think that's what it was. And she did not seem to care when she saw her friend's body in that car, like, at all. Like, she was just like, oh no, where's the money? Okay, woohoo. Like, that was it. So, didn't like that. And one thing I really wanted was a little more motivation for the Riddler. And I really thought I thought they were going to make the Riddler the son of the reporter that Thomas Wayne had killed, because I think it would have just given him a little bit more motivation and a little more character background. Like, I think it would have made more sense in terms of just figuring out why this guy was so adamant about going after these people. And I know, like, I guess he still has a grievance just by being an orphan with a city that misused funds that could have been allocated to him. So he has some beef, but I don't feel like his beef was strong enough to be as insane as he was. Like, he had, like, issues with Bruce Wayne because I guess he was the orphan that everybody cared about, and he was kind of an orphan that was just thrown away. But I really do feel like they missed an opportunity to just give him a better origin, a better motivation as a villain, because it seemed natural, or it seemed to fit. It seemed like that's what they were going to go. They were going to make him the son of the reporter that Thomas Wayne killed, and it just kind of fit 1-to-1. But they just never revisited that. And I thought it would have made sense, because, like, the reporter seemed like somebody who was really good at digging for information, you know. Like, he's the only one who found out that Martha Wayne was in Arkham. Like, he was the one who was exposing these things, so it almost seemed like this guy's doing exactly what his, like, father did, you know, give him some kind of connection to the past. But the dude really seems like just an outsider or nobody to the whole Wayne story, or the whole Gotham story in itself. And maybe that's what they were trying to do once again, but I do think it would have been a better story if he did have some connection to the reporter. I think it would have just made it a little bit stronger. All in all, like, I can't say I hated the movie. Like, I thought it was a solid movie. I know I went on and on about a lot of things I didn't like in the movie, but honestly, I thought it was a solid... Ooh, wait, time out. I still have to talk about... I really didn't like Andy Serkis in this movie either. The Alfred that he... I just don't think they use Alfred enough. And also, like, when they had the C4 in this movie, that's the real L. Like, C4 in this universe is nothing. I guess unless it's literally strapped to your throat, you're not gonna die if C4 blows up. It just doesn't work that way. Like, with the Riddler, like, why does the Riddler have something that says not flammable on the package? That just doesn't make sense to me. Like, the Riddler's riddles kind of sucked. The Riddler's riddles, like, he had, like, one good one with the thumb drive, but after that, it was like, you're not even giving him an opportunity to actually, like, do anything with these things. These aren't good riddles. But yeah, Andy Serkis is a great actor, but I think they really misused him, didn't use him enough, and he didn't work in this movie for me. But I think that he could be a good Alfred maybe in the next movie, and I'm really looking forward to see what they do in this next movie because I do think it was a solid setup, but like a 3-hour setup is just kind of a lot to sit through. But the Gotham that they created was by far the best Gotham I've seen in TV. So I am looking forward to whatever they have coming down the pipeline. But they really have to nail Batman next time. They really need to get some of his character because he's not just dark, and especially with Bruce, he's not just brooding all the time. There's an actual person in that, and I feel like that was lost in the characterization in this movie. And they just need to really hit that third act. They need to be able to really mesh the real world Batman with the superhero Batman and give it a nice medium like I guess the Nolan movies did. I really feel like the Nolan movies, he did seem like a superhero, but he also did seem a little more human. This one seemed like it swung the pendulum way too much to the other side while still having some things that just didn't necessarily make sense with like I said, C4 and other things. But yeah, overall, I would say I'd give this movie probably like a 6.5 out of 10. Not tough, like it wasn't a terrible movie by any means. I feel like people should still watch it, but I didn't think it was a masterpiece like I've seen some people say. I don't think it is even close to The Dark Knight, and I'd say it's better than Dark Knight Rises. I hate that movie, but that's a whole nother story. But yeah, I don't think it's close to The Dark Knight. I don't think it is on Batman Begin level, but it's not bad. It wasn't a bad movie. I did, especially the first time I watched it, I did enjoy it overall. Other than that terrible third act or fourth act or fifth act, I don't even know. This movie's so long, it might be a fifth act. Like honestly, that might be a fifth act in this movie. No joke. But yeah, still go out and watch it, and definitely looking forward to whatever they have going coming down the pipeline. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna try to actually have more of these reviews coming out because I do watch a lot of movies and I kind of don't do anything with it. So if you like it, you can subscribe. I don't want to be one of those people like subscribe on here or whatever, but subscribe if you want to. And yeah, appreciate you watching. Thanks.